Hello, and welcome to the Business Council of Westchester Member Spotlight. I am Linda Tyler and your host today. The BCW is the county's largest and most influential business membership organization, offering over 100 events, programs, and panel discussions yearly. I'd like to thank our sponsor today, Tompkins Community Bank. Tompkins Community Bank is proud to support the Business Council of Westchester. For generations, Tompkins has helped the communities we serve thrive and grow. As a community-based financial institution, we consider it our duty to provide innovative financial solutions for local families and businesses as they navigate their financial journeys. At Tompkins, you don't have to choose between business as usual. Instead, choose business accomplished and business accelerated with cash management solutions that help you manage your growing business. Tompkins, your bank of choice. Today, we're joined by two innovative leaders who are helping businesses navigate the evolving worlds of marketing, technology, and artificial intelligence. Katie Dwyer, founder and creative director of KDD Marketing, and Dr. Fern Halper, founder of AI Foundations Group. I'm delighted to have both of you here with us today. Your work represents two important areas shaping the business landscape now, helping organizations build stronger brands, connecting with audiences, and leveraging innovation and technology to navigate a rapidly changing world. We're excited to hear your perspectives on how businesses can adapt, grow, and take advantage of new opportunities. KD, through KDD Marketing, brings decades of experience in graphic design, branding, and marketing strategy to help businesses build strong identities and connect with their audiences in meaningful ways. Fern, through AI Foundations Group and her work as a nationally recognized data and AI expert, helps leaders better understand the opportunities, challenges, and practical applications of artificial intelligence. We're going to explore how businesses can strengthen their marketing strategies, embrace emerging technologies, and adapt to a rapidly changing landscape to drive growth and innovation. Katie, let's start with you. There are so many different types of marketing resources available today. What are 2 or 3 strategies that you believe are most effective for businesses who are looking to grow and connect with their audiences?
I'd love to say that there is one answer to that question. At the end of the day, it really depends on the business. Who are their customers? Who's their target audience? Where are they? What industry are they in? Certainly, you have to have some sort of digital presence as far as tools are concerned. Social media is important. Having a website that is kept up to date, that you're paying attention to, making sure that your Google business profile is in good order, digital advertising, traditional advertising. There's no 1 or 2 tools that every business should be using, but it really, at the end of the day, depends on who you are, who you're trying to reach, where they are, and which tool is going to work best for you.
I think that's such a good point. I think we all do it, everything you touched upon. If I'm looking at a company or a business, I look at their LinkedIn profile and their website right away. That's your immediate kind of stamp, right, on who you are and what you do and your experience.
Sure. And for some businesses, though, I'll say LinkedIn isn't the right place to be. Certainly, when you're a small business and you have limited resources, what we recommend is don't try to do everything. So, a small e-commerce business might make more sense to have Instagram and TikTok maybe, rather than trying to put all of their effort into all of the big players. Certainly a B2B is definitely going to be on LinkedIn. So again, it really depends on who you are.
And know your audience or your targeted
Absolutely.
audience. Fern, let's talk about AI. Why is this such a pivotal moment for artificial intelligence, and what developments are you most excited about on the immediate horizon?
No, a big question. It's a pivotal moment because AI, of course, has been around forever. I was doing AI back in the 90s, and it was talked about and done, since the ancient Greeks, and in 1957 people were talking about it. So it's not anything new, but what's pivotal now is the fact that we have generative AI, the large language models. Now we have consumerized AI. So it's available to everyone. It used to be that it was just data scientists and others who were doing AI and figuring out what customers would churn or what to recommend to customers. Or preventative maintenance, when you should actually care about going into a plant and fixing what might be wrong in the next 2 months, that might, a part that might fail. So now AI is, everyone's using it. That's what's pivotal about it. So it's definitely an interesting time. We're going down two paths: a consumerized path, where a lot of organizations are using AI to create email, summarize documents, also build chatbots, whatever, and another path, where companies are actually digitally transforming. So the companies that are succeeding are the ones that aren't just thinking of AI as a tool. They're thinking about it as part of their business strategy and what components need to be put in place in their organization to make it successful.
And that's a good point. We'll circle back to that, the business strategy piece and the leadership piece of AI, and we'll circle back to that in just a few minutes. Katie, let's talk a little bit about marketing and your typical audience and really what the advice you're really giving them. We touched upon it a moment ago.
Well, our typical audience, we're often working with businesses in real estate, in education, in hospitality, in many different industries. But what we're usually telling people is you need to have a wide variety of marketing. It can't just be all in one channel. You need to hit people in different places. So, definitely you want to be somewhere digital, but then the traditional aspect of marketing is still important as well, because that really helps support what people are seeing online.
That makes a lot of sense. And maybe we can talk in a moment about how you're using AI in marketing, because that's a big piece too. Every single industry, as you've said, Fern, is touching upon AI. And let's talk a little bit about what, Fern, is the biggest misconception business leaders have about AI. That's another big question, right?
Yeah, it's another big question. But I think the biggest misconception is that the AI itself is bringing the business value. And I think it's the business value doesn't come from AI. The business value comes from solving meaningful business problems. So when someone, I get this all the time, someone will come up to me and say, I'm in so-and-so industry, what should I use AI for? And I'll sort of step back and say, well, what's your business need? Why would you be using AI? And so to me, that's one of the biggest misconceptions, because tools like ChatGPT and Gemini, et cetera, have made it so easy to use AI that organizations think that that's all there is to it. And certainly, they'll give you a lot of productivity gains, but productivity efficiency by itself isn't necessarily business transformation. So I think back to what I was saying before, it's all about what the business need is, what's your business strategy, and then what AI tools can help you actually be successful, with the business strategy. The business strategy and the AI strategy should align.
And that seems to be the first question every business should be asking themselves. And the opportunities are just virtually limitless. And even data pull, every business just figuring out, you can do so much to grow your business if you have a really good understanding of your customer base, your database, what your customer wants and needs. We've actually addressed programs on this subject, and I find it to be really, really fascinating.
Yeah, data is the foundation. I mean, think about building a chatbot, right? So you can build a chatbot, and you can have the chatbot actually use your company FAQs and whatever. I mean, you can consider that data, but isn't it much better if you have someone who's chatting using a chatbot who's a loyalty customer, and you can go into the database and pull the information about that customer, so then they feel like it's personalized, the chat is personalized to them? That's a much more successful strategy than just building a chatbot.
Very good point. Very good point. There's a lot to unpack and learn, and it's evolving every day, which I find fascinating. Katie, what are some common marketing mistakes or overlooked opportunities that businesses should be paying more attention to right now?
Well, we'll keep this on the AI track, and I think one of them is that people don't understand that the process of getting your website in good SEO order is very different from the process of getting your website in good AI order. Being found on ChatGPT and Gemini and so on and so forth it's a very different beast, essentially. A lot of the work that you do for search engine optimization happens on your website, and a lot of the work that you do for AI optimization is actually happening off your website. So making sure you have a good mix of the work you're doing on site and off site is really important. And also another thing that actually kind of dovetails nicely into what we were talking about when you talk about turning those chatbots into a more personalized experience is that as far as marketing is concerned, it's really becoming more, people want a personal experience. So, going from the, we're the best and this is everything about us to how can we help you and how, what are the benefits and what information can I give you? How can I teach you or how can I make you trust us? What is it that you need? Turning that marketing into a more personal experience is really important.
Personalized and curated, and we all want that human-to-human contact. So on that note, we're going to take a quick break. Tompkins Community Bank is proud to support the Business Council of Westchester. For generations, Tompkins has helped the communities we serve thrive and grow. As a community-based financial institution, we consider it our duty to provide innovative financial solutions for local families and businesses as they navigate their financial journeys. At Tompkins, you don't have to choose between business as usual. Instead, choose business accomplished and business accelerated with cash management solutions that help you manage your growing business. Tompkins, your bank of choice. Fern, you've spent decades researching data and AI and recently founded the AI Foundations Group. What inspired you to start this company and what gap do you want to fill?
It's over the past several years with the advent of generative AI and the ChatGPTs and Geminis and Claudes, etc., I noticed that organizations were asking very similar questions. So they were asking, how do we actually make AI work in our business? They wanted to know where to start, how to prioritize use cases, how to govern AI and how to prepare their people, how to build a strategy that would sort of take them through the hype. And that's why I founded the AI Foundations Group. I founded it to build clarity around AI and help organizations build the capabilities that support long-term AI success. So not just the chatbots, but how to put your data foundations in place, how to put governance in place, how to build skills, how to think about the culture of your organization, change management, measuring what you're doing with AI. I have a framework, that looks at all of that. So it's really meant to build clarity around AI and what it takes to succeed. Yes, using generative AI may be your first stop, and that's fine. But if you really don't want to hit what I call a value ceiling, which is when you're using generative AI, but you haven't really thought about using your data or thought about enabling with governance, you're going to hit a plateau where you're going to get efficiency gains, but you're not going to be able to go much past that in terms of your AI journey.
And capabilities.
So this framework is actually a set of capabilities that go beyond the AI tools and help organizations really succeed. I've been doing research in AI for years about what it takes for organizations to succeed. And, these are the success factors that I've seen. And so the generative AI is great, but as I said, it'll only take you so far. So I want to help educate organizations and help them strategize about what they need to do. And not just organizations, but boards as well, because board members now have an oversight responsibility, and they don't understand, a lot of them don't understand AI. So I have programs that also help board members understand what AI is about and what their oversight responsibility needs to look like in that, in where we are now.
There's so many factors to consider, which is exciting and a little scary and a lot to comprehend, but has to be addressed as for every company. And let's turn back to you, Katie, for a moment, and let's talk about building a brand and what does a truly sustainable marketing strategy look like, and how can businesses ensure their efforts to create long-term value? And of course, AI is a part of that too, and using that factor. But tell us a little bit about how a company can really build a long, sustaining, strong brand.
Sure. So, obviously it starts when you're building that brand, or even if you're already in business and need to rethink that brand. It comes back to making sure that you're really specific about who you're trying to reach, what that message is you're trying to tell them, what reflects the personality of your business. And we were talking about this a little before, but your own personality, especially in small and medium-sized businesses, the owners need to really feel, the people who are out there in the field, they need to feel proud of what it is that they're going out there and talking about. So making sure that your brand is in good standing is the first step, and that it's cohesive and consistent across any of the channels that you're using. So that's step one. So then step two, when it comes down to creating something that's sustainable, you can look at that in a number of different ways. I think on the one hand, you can work with a company like ours where, we're helping to be that kind of outside marketing department. And that creates a sustainability, because at the end of the day, a lot of small and medium-sized business owners and the people on their staff, they don't have the time to be doing the marketing. So that's one way to do it. And then another way is, sometimes we're coming in and we're working with small teams just on a consulting level, and they're still doing the work. And so then again, we come back to, not trying to bite off more than you can chew, and really picking the right media centers, whether that is Facebook and Instagram, or whether that's digital advertising, or that's really focusing in on your email marketing, choosing the right mix, not trying to do everything, but choosing the right mix so that it is sustainable for your company.
And also making sure everybody on your team is on the same page, right?
Absolutely.
The consistency, the messaging, all needs to be the same to really be powerful.
Right. And when you're going through that branding process, when you're developing a brand, making sure that you have some sort of guideline for your team, for any marketing people you might be working with, having that guideline in place, what is the message? What is the voice? What fonts do we use? What color palettes do we use? What are the image styles we use? And then even getting back to AI, how do we use AI in our marketing? Do we use it to help us start drafts for social posts? Do we or do we not use it for generating images? Having guidelines for everyone and making sure everyone's on the same page so that what's presented out in the world feels very cohesive, and the customer sees something and they recognize and they know that it's your brand.
1,000%. Fern, let's talk for a moment a little bit about, business leaders and whether they're running a mid-sized company in Westchester or a global enterprise. What should they be doing? And again, messaging, right? To prepare for AI, regardless of business size, whether you're Pepsi or you're a medium-sized law firm, what should these big companies and small companies be thinking about?
Yeah, I think, for the small and mid-sized companies, I definitely think that they should have an AI plan. It should be aligned, with their business strategy, in some way. And the first step is to really identify one or two areas where AI could make a measurable difference, because I'm a firm believer that you should measure outcomes, because then you can prove success, and then it's a virtuous cycle. So, maybe that's reducing the time spent on administrative work, or it's improving customer service, or it's helping with marketing, or, they have one or two types of areas. Start there, measure the success, and then build on those results. And then is to think beyond individual productivity. So a lot of larger companies have been doing this for a while. They tend to have their data foundations and their governance and other things in place. So you can begin by using some ChatGPT or Microsoft Copilot, to help write something faster or summarize information. And that's a great entry point. But then start to build from there and look for a case that maybe is going to use your company data. That's where a lot of the real value is going to come from. I can't stress that enough. Then start to look at those cases and start to inventory your data, see what you have, see what you need, start to build from there and build more complex use cases.
And really, what I'm hearing you both say, and I believe it too, is that data, whether it's marketing or AI or anything, how to find your future customer, keep your loyal customers, it's really data driven, right? It's going back to a little bit about the history of what your company is doing, these successes, the challenges, and then going from there, correct?
Yeah, when I was at AT&T, I worked with the marketing department there all the time, and we were analyzing AT&T data, customer data. Of course, we had to anonymize it, but to understand who was going to churn, who was going to respond to this promotion. It was all very data driven. So data, is where it's at.
And then you see the success outcomes or the challenge outcomes, right?
Yes.
So let's tell our audience, last question, why, of course, should they be thinking about having a dedicated AI person or consultant and a marketing strategy plan? It's because those are two really important facets of businesses today.
I'll start with the marketing plan.
Okay.
Why do you need a marketing strategy? Because otherwise you're throwing spaghetti at the wall, number
Right.
one. Number two, again, getting back to being really specific, there will never be a business that can honestly say, well, every single person in the world is my potential customer, because they really aren't. You want to be specific about who you're talking to. And so working with a marketing company, you can help to use the data that you have about your customers, develop that strategy around how to target the people who are most likely to buy from you. Put your dollars behind that specificity rather than just throwing them to the wind.
Using your time wisely
Absolutely.
and your money wisely.
Absolutely.
What about AI?
Well, I think it goes without saying that organizations need to be doing something with AI. It's going to be a competitive advantage. I've seen it time and time again in my research that organizations that have the foundations in place, that are doing more work with AI, they tend to measure ROI. They will measure ROI, so there's a lot of value to be had. So if you don't have an AI strategy that aligns with your business strategy, you're probably not going to be as successful as your competitor.
Let's face it, you'll be left behind, really, truly.
Yeah.
Companies using all of these great strategies and tools, that's how you go to the next level and continue to strengthen and grow. So thank you both for sharing your areas of expertise. You'll have to come back because I think a lot will change in the next year. We'll have even more to talk about and more things to discuss. So thank you both for being here today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
Be sure to check out the BCW Podcast Network's expansive lineup of shows: Leadership Unleashed, What's Trending, Advocacy and Politics Unplugged, The Member Spotlight, and Nonprofit Voices of Impact. The Business Council of Westchester is the county's largest business membership organization focusing on economic development and advocacy. With over 1,100 members, it is our mission to work for the profitability of our members and the prosperity of the Westchester community. To learn more about the Business Council of Westchester, please go to thebcw.org.